What's going on, folks? Today I want to talk about something very near and personal to all of us. Cameras, especially on laptops. Let's face it, we all do it. Isn't particularly that we do it, but why we do it. The reason why we do it has definitely changed quite a bit. Way back in the day, nobody ever put these little things over top of their cameras. And that's just because we trusted ourselves. We trusted that if we trusted ourselves, we would just trust that the only thing that we were blocking ourselves away from was hackers. And let's face it, there are hackers out there. I'm sure we've all seen pictures where hackers have posted images saying, your image saying that I can see what you're doing, and maybe even send me Bitcoin just to scare people or just to get some Bitcoin. Let's face it, that happened back in the day. But let's also face it, these days we're doing it because we don't want third parties to see us. Not hackers, but governments. People who want to advertise to us. Not just hackers. And it's amazing that we've come this far. Now, way back in the day, World Trade Center, the conspiracy theory, everyone would say, no way, the government's not ever trying to do anything to us. The government would never do anything bad to us. The government has our best ideas in mind. And then you learn about things like MK Ultra, where it turns out that people were experimented on that weren't necessarily supposed to be. But these experiments, they did actually get a lot of information. The fact is, it happened. It happened. Some governments don't mind doing crazy things to their people. It happened. But isn't it interesting that we're at this point that we know that the FBI is watching, that we know that Project Prism, I think it is, Project Five Eyes, is watching, and we're just in that kind of world. Now, when World War Z came out, it was an interesting addition to the horror zombie genre. And one thing I found really interesting was in the aftermath of it. The kids that were born after the fact just knew that if you go near a pool of water, just like when you're in Florida, if you see a bathtub's worth of water, you just assume there's a crocodile in it. And just like that, within World War Z, kids grew up knowing and not necessarily fearing in the terror that the original generation did, but just knowing that there's probably a zombie in there. There could be a walker in there. These days, we're all just living with the idea that there's a good chance that the government's watching you, that someone trying to advertise to you is watching you. And yeah, we do have all these safeguards in place. But at the end of the day, they don't always work. Now, manufacturers have put sliding screens across cameras so that nobody can see us when we're doing what we do. But the thing that very few people realize is that we still have microphones. We still have microphones on our system. So if you're going to be blocking your camera, make sure you block your microphone too, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'm saying. I was going to throw a little something else on the pile here. So there's a lot of places that give students laptops. Man, that must be expensive. Who would give students laptops these days? Who would do that? Kids are just, they don't even know how to handle stuff. There's one place where a kid pissed all over a pile of MacBooks, and his parents had to replace them because they couldn't be fixed, because Apple people don't have to touch anything that's been urinated or defecated on. Interesting. Good to know. Good to know. But there was one situation. Where a kid took a laptop home, and it turned out the school board was taking pictures or taking videos. One kid got in a lot of trouble, and his parents got drug in because this kid looked like he was eating lots of pills. Eating lots of pills. Where did these pills come from? Nom 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 nom. Turns out they were Mike and Ike's. It looks significantly like pills. It looks significantly like colored pills. Frickin' Mike and Ike. I swear to God, the fear in North America has gotten so bad that if we're watching our kids to make sure that they're being cool while they're eating Mike and Ike's, we're like, oh my God, that must be medicine. Seriously, if you could eat that much medicine, if you could handle that kind of medicine, or any kind of medicine, even, you know, even stuff that's holistic or whatever. If you ate like a pack's worth of any kind of medicine that you get like in a pack of Mike and Ike's, you'd be done. You'd be toast. That'd be it. But anyways, we are at that point where a lot of us have to reasonably block the cameras from our computers because we don't know who's watching us, because we know that people are watching us. It's happening. It's happening. I mean, Microsoft gave a backdoor. I'm pretty sure Microsoft gave the NSA a backdoor to everything. And like, for example, the RCMP, the Mounties, had have the ability to go into anyone's BlackBerry phone because the key was basically handed over to them. This is just happening. It's the government's. I feel like such a conspiracy theorist for saying this, but seriously, like, a lot of the older folks might be like, no, that's not happening, but seriously, these individuals don't have any idea what's going on, but the kids growing up, they know what's happening. They just know, they take it for granted. That's just the way thing is. Advertisers, hackers, and governments are all watching you. Maybe not all the time. Maybe not simultaneously. Maybe almost never. But there is a reasonable assertion that it's happening quite a lot all over the place. And that's just how she goes. Isn't it interesting? What a brave new world we live in, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, that's it from me. Nev from Nest Tech. But like and subscribe if you like this stuff. Always appreciated. And take care of each other, folks. Don't be spying on each other.